You're standing at the very edge of an active volcano, staring down into a glowing lake of lava. Then the loose rock beneath your feet crumbles, and suddenly you're falling straight down toward it. So what actually happens when a human body meets a lake of molten rock? The answer will surprise you, because it is nothing like the movies. And believe it or not, one man fell into a volcano and lived. Let's start with the most shocking part. You would not sink into the lava like a swimming pool. Lava is molten rock, and it is incredibly dense, about 3 times denser than your entire body. So instead of plunging in, you would actually land on top of it, like belly flopping onto hot tar. But long before you ever touch the surface, something far more terrifying has already begun. The heat. A lava lake burns at around 1,200 degrees Celsius. That is hot enough to melt steel, and you are made of far more fragile stuff than steel. As you fall, the air itself becomes a wall of heat. Your clothes would burst into flames mid-air. Your skin would begin to burn and blister before you even reach the glowing surface below. Scientists have actually filmed what happens when objects hit lava, and it is violent. When they threw a bag of organic waste onto a lava lake, it didn't sink. It exploded. The water inside instantly flashed to steam, blasting molten rock high into the air. Your body is 60% water, so on impact, you would trigger the exact same explosion. You would be launched back upward in a burst of steam and burning lava, not sink, erupt. But here is the twist. The lava is not even what would kill you first. Long before the heat, the volcano is already trying to end you with something invisible. Volcanoes constantly release deadly gases: sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. Breathe these in, and your lungs would burn from the inside. Many volcano deaths are from gas alone. So as you fall into the crater, you are being poisoned, cooked, and about to explode all at once. It sounds completely unsurvivable, and yet, incredibly, people have fallen into volcanoes and lived. In 2017, a man climbed over a safety railing at a volcano in Hawaii. He slipped in the dark and fell 70 feet down into the Kilauea crater. Everyone assumed he was gone, but he had landed on a narrow ledge just above the lava. Rescuers lowered a team down and pulled him out alive, badly injured but alive. His survival came down to pure luck. A few feet further and there would have been nothing left. So could you survive a fall into a volcano? Only if you never actually reach the lava. If you catch a ledge, a rock, anything, you have a chance. If you reach the molten lake, you do not. Now, let's talk about the monster you would be falling into, because lava is stranger than you think. That glowing orange surface is actually a thin, cooling crust floating on molten rock beneath. The crust constantly cracks and shifts, revealing rivers of glowing rock underneath, like cracked glass. Some lava lakes have existed for over 100 years, churning non-stop like a boiling cauldron. The volcano near Ragango in Africa holds one of the largest lava lakes on the entire planet. And in 1977, its crater wall cracked, draining the whole lake in under an hour. The lava raced downhill at up to 60 kilometers an hour, faster than most people could run. Whole villages were overrun in minutes, because lava does not just sit still and glow, it hunts. But not all lava is the same. Some flows slow and thick. Some explodes out of the earth violently. The thicker the lava, the more dangerous the eruption, because gas gets trapped and builds pressure. When that pressure finally releases, you get an explosion powerful enough to be seen from space. And some volcanoes are so enormous, we gave them a terrifying name: supervolcanoes. Beneath Yellowstone National Park sits a magma chamber larger than an entire city. If it ever fully erupted, it could bury half a continent in ash and change the global climate. The good news: a supereruption like that is incredibly rare, and there are no signs it's coming soon. Scientists watch these giants constantly, measuring every tremor, every gas leak, every bulge. Because volcanoes have shaped human history in ways you have probably never realized. In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius buried the Roman city of Pompeii under meters of ash. The city was frozen in time, preserving its people exactly as the disaster found them. Their shapes are still visible today, a chilling snapshot of a city that vanished in hours. But here is the part almost nobody talks about. Volcanoes did not just take life, they created it. Billions of years ago, erupting volcanoes released the gases that formed our very first atmosphere. That same volcanic activity released the water vapor that eventually filled our oceans. So the same force that could vaporize you in seconds is also the reason you exist at all. And volcanic soil is some of the most fertile on Earth, which is why people still live beside them. Millions of people live in the shadow of active volcanoes right now, trusting them to stay calm. Which brings us back to you, clinging to that crumbling ledge, heat rising from below. You were never meant to touch that lava, but you got the closest look at Earth's raw power imaginable. So here is the question to fight about in the comments. Which of these would you survive? Falling into a volcano, or falling to the crushing bottom of the Mariana Trench? We've taken you into the trench, a whale, a black hole, and a coffin. Watch those next if you dare. Drop your answer below, volcano or trench, and tell us the exact moment you would give up hope. Because the most dangerous places on Earth are also the most beautiful and the most misunderstood. The volcano isn't a monster. It's the beating heart of our planet, reminding us how alive it truly is. The next great eruption is building somewhere right now, deep beneath our feet. See you on the next journey into the impossible. And hey, maybe stay behind the railing. Subscribe before you erupt.